Hello, beautiful, amazing, fantastic world, and you, wonderful, wonderful, beautiful individual. Today, I would like to speak about finding and holding active and in truth the true, the good, the beautiful, the moral, and finding it through the Christ, which united himself with this earth development from the most sublime heights from the Godhead, and hence he is morality, he is love, emanates from him. In earlier times we would find these sublime feelings up in the heavens, out in the cosmos, not bound to this earthly development we are in. Today, we have a different task in front of us, and we are not to long for past sublime heights we came from, because we will reach there in the future, but in a new and different, with additional faculties. You see, we go in cycles, cosmic cycles, nights and days. With every cycle, something new is introduced to the cosmic development. This earth development is in specific for us through overcoming our adversary powers through love. We bring about a surplus love through freedom. Freedom was introduced by the Luciferic forces, and we fell through the temptation by being free too early. Today, our task is to again become conscious within our intellect, allowing it to be enlivened so it can be connected to reality again. Now, since the Christ has united himself with earth development and is the spirit of this earth, we will over time become in his likeness as long as we embrace his love. One has to give oneself over to, acknowledging it. And that is harder for many than most. And that is often because it is in direct contradiction to necessity and freedom. Morality. Morality is something that we should always live into consciously. For if we are half asleep, we are liable to be taken hold of and seized by subconscious forces. Through conscious action, through conscious meditation, taking as an example as a practice, every evening before you go to bed, you reflect on the whole day and you try to remember as much as possible so that you can go through it, assimilate, learn from it, grow from it, and change inwardly as a human being so you can the next day operate, to the best of our abilities in that way. Also noticing that from the good to the bad to also the uncomfortable to the pain, we all are going through both karma and grace and destiny and dharma. That means the correct attitude towards karma. Every single suffering that occurs to us is karmic. Once we can truly have that as a conscious fact within our being, is when we can operate in a more confident way, you see, because we do strive constantly with our inner being, and we come from many lifetimes. We have done many deeds, thought many thoughts, and felt many intense feelings. We have affected many, and we are still doing so. And we build karma and have to make amends for these karmic situations. Hence, a lot of our suffering and pain. By becoming conscious of this And through the Christ knowing redemption is possible, it is possible to get grace and go into the plus side of karma. That means, yes, we do still struggle with karma, but we still have something healing and constructive to give out. But it must be seized in consciousness, in awareness, in awakeness today. Our I consciousness, our I-ness, our human, we will never lose again. We will never fall back into a hazy, conglomerated mist of a mass. We will for always become and be the individuals we are. But we will all unite under the same oneness in a sense. Manyness in oneness, oneness in manyness. But it has to be consciously. And it has to be done through love. For if it is not through love, if it is only through necessity, or if it is only through frivolity, or if it is only through egotistic and, well, in an impure way, you bring about more chaos and destruction. Of course, it is not to be avoided because part of this development is breaking down and building up. But everything has its place. And that is where karma comes in. Certain things has to be paid for, make amends for, passed on and then made into our being. For once you have gone through that pain, you come out stronger. What doesn't kill you make you stronger. That is an obvious and a serious truth. And it is about holding to that will to live. And finding morality and redemption. Salvation through the Christ. Healing through the Christ. Allowing us to slowly but surely come up from the abyss which we have fallen so deeply entangled into the material world that we do not know up or down anymore. Now, through spiritual science, conscious endeavors to understand these things and to find the Christ again is what the task of this incarnation is, to become conscious, free in love. But also knowing that there are certain things you keep in values and in morals that are unbending within you. Even if there was, 1,000 people, maybe 10,000 people that looked at you with scorn because you preached something that has to do with morality. You see here how hard and difficult this path is, because you have to be, in a certain way, not immune, but extremely impenetrable and more or less resistant to any kind of feelings of disgust, hatred, envy, greed, and so on. You have to hold to it consciously. This is not possible to do 24 hours a day today. We have far too much karma to deal with. But it is a start to know that we strive towards these things, so that you have a path to take. Now, by truly being curious, wondrous, finding what is consciously truthful, what you can truly experience as a human being, as an individual in the world, and not only becoming very fixated on small groups or certain places, but belonging to them all, for we are earth. We are earth beings under the Christ. Every single one of us, even those that deny it. Having that as an inclusion, then you will have compassion built up over time. But it has to be practiced, it has to be sustained. It is a new, alive, ennobled, awake way of being. And to be aware that every word we speak has meaning. Every word we say has an effect. And that it is important to stay as conscious as possible to what message we put out. So, by holding to the moral, to reaching certain moral heights, certain moral understandings, you over time will be compelled to speak. You will be compelled to speak about certain observations, especially of our own inner being. Because people can relate, we mirror to each other different aspects of ourselves. We can only know ourselves because there is other. But the other is another aspect of you. Just as I am another aspect of you. And you are another aspect of me. And we are aspects of the divine. But we are also aspects of the shadows. Since we are in this specific development. Holding steady to the threefold human being. The light, the darkness, and the balance in between. Because we are a blend of them both. But we do have conscious spirit now within our soul and body. And by doing so, having a conscious activity and endeavor and free striving towards the truth. So, I think I will leave you with this today. So, hold to goodness. Hold as steadfast as you can to love, to compassion, to not retaliate, to not being defensive, because you have nothing to prove. You are a spiritual human being striving towards redemption. And you have thinking, feeling, and willing. And you have physical, etheric, astral, and ego with a higher what is it called? It is a pre-prophesied higher members are spirit self, life spirit, and spirit man. When we have ennobled through our spirit, through our ego, our physical body, our etheric body, and our astral body. We have the higher members of these. Now, these higher members are actually the bodies of the higher worlds. They do not need physical bodies like us. Although the effects of whatever is occurring in this world is, in a sense, quote unquote, their limbs stretching down towards and in this earth development. And remember, the angelic realm reaches to the moon, and the archangelic realm to Mercury. Now, in Mercury and Venus here is switched, I'm pretty sure, because you see that from Earth you have an alignment of planets at a specific point in time, where you have Earth, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Sun, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. And these are the hierarchies where they reside. So from Saturn and all the way through our whole solar system, and beyond that, we have the Godhead and the seraphim, cherubim, and thrones surrounding our solar system. The whole constellations are surrounding the solar system, which is going in a clock-like fashion. Now, these are the highest being that allows for this space, and the throne sacrifices their heat substance to allow for this heat to be worked upon by helping spirits, the lower hierarchies, to shape it, to work on it, to put life into it, and to shape bodies and beings and a home out of it. This was the start phase of Saturn, the ancient Saturn stage, where our whole solar system was one huge, just as big as the whole solar system, ball of warmth. That is the first planetary stage we were in. Over time it condenses down and lights up. It weren't any light at the time, it was only warmth. But then air was introduced, where it became gaseous. And hence the warmth started to light up. And then it condenses more, becomes watery. And we reaches the and we reached the ancient moon stage, and now it has condensed and crystallized so far down now that we have the mineral, the earthly, within us now. Now we also experience death. But in the grand scheme of things, it is but a transition. Death in the physical world is a birth into the spiritual world, and vice versa. A death in the spiritual world is a birth into the physical world, because you forget. Now in the future we will have in alignment and in consciousness all of our lives, and the whole, you can survey the whole of from start to finish. Of course, it requires studying, and it requires to find out and to root out any kind of theories and delusion that what this cosmic development is all about, and that the cosmos is alive. There is nothing in the cosmos that is empty. Just think about the heliopause. Every single pore of this outer empty space is filled with the sun, and the influences of the planets in reflection to the sun too. There is nothing in space there that is empty. Everything has effect, everything has life, everything has movement, and it is, you just become glad because you know there is never enough study. And I can love that. It is an eternal development. It is a development reaching far beyond this lifetime. And it has come from many lifetimes till before we even had death in the picture, where transformation was the way we went. Instead of dying and laying aside the physical body, we transformed. That was our death state. That is what death is, transformation. Overcoming this and to truly acknowledge that there are far more sublime truths than only this nose we have here, and to truly reach loftier heights. You can survey the world, the solar system, but never lose yourself away from the earth. We are here on earth. Earth is our development stage. It is our home. We are not to leave here until this development is over. And when this development is over, we will reach a new planetary stage. But it will happen in the future. So one should not think too much about egotistical immortality moving forward, but think more where we came from till now, and so moving forward. Then you become humbled by your karma, and knowing that we have karma, every one of us, and all of us are participating in the world karma. Whatever a person do on the other side of the earth has everything to do with us. But we should not unite any one of us in hatred, ever. It is so easy to unite, to love, to hate something. Don't do that. That is unconscious. That is sleeping. No, become conscious and unite in love, unity, understanding, compassion, comprehension, conscious endeavors to be good. But over time, patience, patience, patience. And this is what I will leave you with today. May Father, Holy Spirit, Christ, Michael, ancient masters of old, ancestors from every incarnation, bless, protect, guide, and love you on your beautiful, amazing, wonderful path to redemption, to love, to connecting consciously again to the hierarchy, and to again grow into the cosmos, but with our feet on the ground. To not just fly away in some delirium or some haze, but be conscious, experiencing. And if we do become stirred in our emotions, we go inwards and we stew in it for a while, until it's transformed, consciously. That is how you redeem your own inner feelings, by not blaming and projecting outwards, but taking care of it yourself. Of course, to the best of our abilities. As I said, we are not infallible, so keep in mind, we do have karma, and we do have our shadow side. So, the more we come into the workings of the shadow side, balancing it, knowing what they are, what we are dealing with here, so that we can keeping it in check, in balance, through love. May Father, thank you. I already prayed, so have a beautiful day, Father. See you, love you, thank you, goodbye.